The following may contain offensive language, adult humor, and or content that some viewers may find offensive. The views and opinions expressed by any one speaker does not explicitly or necessarily reflect or represent those of Mark Radulich or W2M Network. Please listen with caution, or don't listen at all.
Hooray for Hollywood, where stars are living large, in mansions with their servants and their credit cards in charge, with fame that's fleeting, but the egos never change, where everyone's a genius, except the ones who really arrange. Hooray for Hollywood, where the scandals always sell, where every whispered secret is a new tabloid's tell. Oh, how we adore the endless red carpet galore. Hooray for Hollywood, where less is always more.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, you are listening to a Radulich Broadcasting premiere podcast, Damn You Hollywood. And here's your host. He'll spit on your meat, and then he'll use his feet. He's Robert Winfrey.
No. Just no.
What?
All of that.
I said that to Erica earlier. First of all, I've been told I should occasionally explain my jokes. It
helps, especially those ones.
So I'm into this YouTube channel, TikToker, Spotify enthusiast, Band Vinyl. I don't know if you know about this, but people are using the artificial intelligence these days to make music, Robert Winfrey. And a thing that they do to get attention for themselves is they pretend, they cosplay in the cosmic universe that there was these band vinyls from like the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, possibly even 80s. And they were just the filthiest things you've ever seen in your life. And there's not just one of these accounts, like it's one guy and it's the only one doing it. There's like 100 of them. Sure. Everyone's doing the same joke. And through DistroKid or other means, you can get this music on Spotify. So on his YouTube channel, and like there's like a disconnect between what he uploads to YouTube and what he gets onto Spotify. There's like a delay. So the newer stuff is always on YouTube first. And a lot of it, like I said, is like country, western, folk, some jazz and doo-wop, Motown kind of stuff. But then he started doing progressive metal under the band name Dragon Shaft. And I noticed Dragon Shaft when he put out the single, and they're always singles, because these are band vinyls, is the cosplay.
Sure.
The single was called One in My Mouth, Two in My Ass, as the old saying goes. So I, of course, became enamored of this.
Yeah, that's the thing that would catch your attention.
Uh-huh. And I started listening to more and more of his music.
Mark, fan of sodomy Radulich.
That's what I was going to say on my tombstone shortly. You know, here lies Mark Radulich, died gasping for air, beloved father, dedicated father, fan of filth and anal humor. Anyway, so one of this
minus the humor, just
fan of anal.
All things.
So there's a single that he put out recently called I Will Spit on Your Meat, and then it's just called I Will Spit on Your Meat, but the chorus is I will spit on your meat and then I will use my feet.
Okay.
And it's just, and I don't want to play it because I don't want to get kicked off of YouTube.
That would be helpful.
Because you can put it up on YouTube, you can upload it, but God forbid you stream it. And then the YouTube gods get mad at you and they strike you they send you to hell.
That is how that goes, yes.
So, but when we're done here, if you would like me to play it for you while looking into your eyes, I will happily do that for you.
I do not need that in my life. Thank you.
Would you like me to read more of their songs?
No.
Would you like me to read you the entire Dragon Shaft catalog?
Actually, you know what? If it puts off me having to deal with the reaction to what I'm going to say about this movie, go for it.
I don't want to. All right.
You are. There's people who do this thing, Mark, that you do on occasion.
Mm-hmm.
You play a gag,
Mm-hmm.
and then you ask someone to go along with the gag.
Yeah.
And then the other person takes the gag half a step further, and you go, and then you clutch your pearls and pretend like, okay, quick, we got to get out of this death spiral.
If Jesse were here, or Alexis, and I was trying to wreck the podcast, maybe. But I like this, and you, and I want, and our audience, who is patiently waiting for us to talk about what movie, Robert?
We are talking about Lost Mandalorian script number 37, Predator Badlands.
Yes, Predator Badlands is in fact a movie. You may have heard about it. Predator Badlands is a 2025 American. I apologize for our previous off-air conversation. Science fiction action film, and the 9th installment of a franchise that shouldn't have gone past 2 movies, the Predator franchise. The film was directed by Dan Trachtenberg. If you haven't heard of Dan Trachtenberg, well, you should.
He's being lauded, Mark, as the savior of this franchise.
I don't want to talk about it. He is the director of 10 Cloverfield Lane. He directed the story for Prey. He was the director, story, and producer for Predator Killer of Killers, which Jesse and I reviewed.
It's all right. It's 2/3 okay, and then just falls apart at the end.
He directed some television. He did playtest for Black Mirror. The Name of the Game, which is an episode of The Boys from 2019. And he did As Above, So Below for The Lost Symbol, which nobody watched. He won for 10 Cloverfield Lane the Hawaii Film Critics Society Award for Best New Filmmaker. So that's who this Joker is. It was written by Patrick Aison from a story by Trachtenberg and Aison, Elle Fanning, and Dimitrius Schuster-Koloamatangi Ding Dong star in leading roles. In the film, Deck, a young Yautja, exiled from his clan.
Crying out loud, man. You saw the movie. It's Yautja.
Every time they said it, it was different. A young yodeler, exiled from his clan, crash lands on a hostile planet and must prove himself worthy of the hunt. Struggling to survive, he forms an unlikely alliance with Thia, a damaged Weyland-Yutani Corporation synthetic. Take a drink every time they say Weyland-Yutani in this movie.
You will, in fact, pass out.
As they face off against a terrifying apex creature, like they were screaming at you. Aliens and predators are in the same universe. Aliens and predators are in the same universe. Please see our movie. Terrifying apex creature that challenges both human and predator instinct for survival. Predator Badlands had its world premiere at the TCL Chinese Theatre on November 3rd, 2025, and was theatrically released by 20th Century Fox, or 20th Century Studios. Haha, you used to be Fox. Indeed. On November 7th. It received positive reviews from critics and grossed $80 million against a $105 million budget. More on that in about an hour.
When we get to the money, yeah, because we're gonna have to. I almost can't do this again, but we're gonna have to explain to people that $105 million production budget, called another 60 for print and advertising, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you've spent $165 million on this thing. You need to get to $250 million box office to start seeing profit.
So I saw the trailer for this on TV one fine day and went, well, this looks like a terrible fan film. I'm not looking forward to this at all. Also, I'm kind of over the Predator franchise. I know our friends, God bless them, if it was something they saw as a child, it's still as great as it ever was, and anything bad you say about it makes you a hater. But I also live in reality, and I'm an adult. And
wow, that's normally my line about those people. You're just stealing my shtick here.
I liked the first Predator movie. I think it's great.
Who doesn't?
I actually liked Predator 2. It's just not what I was one of those people like, oh, well, this isn't like the first one. And then I, got a little bit older, watched it a few more times, and went, no, this is a good movie by itself.
That's fine.
And then they should have stopped doing these. because every time, I mean, Predators
Okay.
isn't bad.
Well, let's run through this for a minute here, since to get through this to get to our next point.
Mm-hmm.
So the original Predator is almost a perfect movie. And I don't mean like award-winning perfection. I mean it is a
It's a good
economical script.
Yeah.
It is incredibly well cast. It is incredibly well shot.
Let me interrupt you now. It is a great slasher movie that takes every trope of slashers and turns it on its head. Instead of weak teenage children, we have big, strong army men.
Yeah.
Instead of a haunted house, or something along those lines, we have the jungle. Instead of a nightmare creature or a zombie coming at you with a hatchet, we have an alien. It takes every trope of the horror slasher and turns it around and turns it into something really interesting and fun to follow.
Yeah, and it's great. It is endlessly rewatchable. It is a wonderful movie. Predator 2 is a good movie. It's got problems, but, trying to follow up a movie that is, again, about as perfectly executed for what it is as you're going to get is always going to be hard.
Yeah.
But it's fine. I'm not here to bag on Predator 2. If we wanted to nitpick it, if we wanted to critique it, we could. It's fine. Then we get this big, long nothing burger from the franchise, and then I think we get Alien versus Predator before we get Predators.
Yes, we get both, I believe, the AVP movies before we did Predators.
Yeah, so Alien versus Predator is an enormous disappointment on a bunch of levels.
Mm-hmm.
Alien versus Predator Requiem is incompetently made.
Also hilarious.
Look, man, I wanted to like that movie. I really did. Believe it or not, I can actually kind of rewatch segments of it and enjoy it. Or rather...
We need to go back a second.
Okay.
The first two Predator movies, the bad guy is the Predator.
Yes.
When we get to AVP, the Predator is the good guy because the aliens are the bad guys.
That's kind of where we land, yes.
And it kind of doesn't work, kind of ruins the character. And that first Alien versus Predator is entirely reliant on the Predator is the good guy motif, and it sucks. The second one is just because it's so hilarious. It's so hilariously over the top that it's one of those. And I know you hate this sort of thing, but it's one of those. If you turn your brain all the way off and then hit yourself in the head with a frying pan, it's enjoyable. It is one of those. You watch it. It's kind of like the mid Halloween movies. The ones with like Busta Rhymes and whatnot, where it's just like, oh god, these are incompetently made, but also hilarious. That's AVP.
Yeah.
But this is also where we start to re-envision the Predator as sort of an anti-hero character, and it really doesn't work.
It, by and large, no, it doesn't. But my other gripe with Requiem is, again, when I say it's incompetently made, I mean you literally cannot see what's going on the screen for 3/4 of the movie. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad movie. It is. But when you stack, I don't know what I'm doing on the director as well. Like, you don't get anywhere good. So then a little bit later, we get Predators, which is a bunch of dangerous people transported to the Predator homeworld. It could have been okay.
It's an interesting idea. It runs into the problem of having a lot of unsympathetic meat running around, and you don't know who to cheer for. Like, the Predators are back to being the bad guys again, which is one of the reasons why it works. Except your good guys are terrible people.
Well, hang on. There's a caveat to that in Predators, where this is where they introduce the rival Predator clans, the rival Yautja clans, and we wind up trying to work with one of them to beat down the bigger, badder ones, and it falls apart.
Yeah, it's a mess. It's an enjoyable mess, but it's a mess. And it was an interesting premise, but also a mess.
So then after Predators fails, pretty much, we go dormant again for a while. Pretty much until Prey.
No, hang on.
Oh, what did I forget?
You're missing The Predator.
Oh, I really wanted to forget that one. Thank you.
And we reviewed it, and the big takeaway from The Predator was Autism is a superpower.
Yeah.
Just awful. It's just an awful
The
movie.
Predator is a terrible movie.
By far the dirt worst.
No, it's not as bad as Requiem. Because, again, Requiem is just so incompetent. I can't.
I think it's the worst because it's the least enjoyable.
Okay.
Requiem I can at least enjoy.
So Requiem, you can point and laugh at the freak show.
Sure. And then we get Prey, which is
at least a moderate return to form. You and I had, both positive and negative things to say about it when we reviewed it.
Here's the thing. One of the things we said about Prey was there's nothing more you can do with the Predator. Now it's basically, let's put the Predator in different time periods to see how they would have dealt with it if you only have bows and arrows, if you only have muskets, if you only have this, if you only have that. How does the environment change how you're dealing with the same creature over and over and over again? So there were good elements to Prey, but there was also, Die Hard on a boat, Die Hard, or Speed on a boat, Speed on a plane, Die Hard into this. If people don't know what I mean by that, is for a while, between Speed and Die Hard, there was a thing in Hollywood of making Speed movies and Die Hard movies by other names and going, well, this is Die Hard on a boat, this is Die Hard on a plane, this is Die Hard on the ski slopes or whatever. Well, the same thing with Speed. That's where you ran into with the Predator, which is now we're doing the Predator in Native American times. Now we're doing Predator here, and we're going to do Predator there, and we're going to go to Ohio. Woo! I'm never going to not do Howard Dean. Get over it.
I'm not going to try and stop you.
So anyway.
80% of our audience wasn't alive when that happened, but okay.
You don't know how old our audience is. And that brings us to where we are today. This is the second Predator movie, not counting the cartoon, that was made since Disney bought Fox. And I'm going to say this, and then we can get into the bigger discussion. Because we live in a world where nothing can sit on the shelf and everything has to be milked ad nauseum, they can't leave this franchise alone. But we have hit the point with this one in particular where all we're doing is the hits. It's like going to see Journey would be the best comparison. It's like, look, we haven't done anything of value or relevance for quite some time, but that's not what you're here for anyway. You're here for us to see open arms any way you want it. That's what you're here for, so that's what we're going to do, and everyone goes home happy. And that was the Predator Badlands experience. Your thoughts?
I think you're not wrong about the structural issues in play that lead to where we are. I would disagree that Predator fans had a good time with this, but that's a thing we can get into later. I'll just throw out the following. This is a slightly better... The trajectory of the Predator franchise, if we're just talking quality of releases, is at least better than the direction the Alien franchise has been going.
Every at-bat, they hit the umpire. It's amazing.
Yeah, because Romulus has lowered significantly in my estimation the more I've thought about it. And Alien Earth is so retarded it should be studied.
Yeah, I was not thrilled to be on that podcast by the time I was done watching that show. I'm sure Alexis was questioning her life decisions by the end of it. But I don't want to get sidetracked with the alien with all that stuff. I want to talk about, before we get into the actual review of the movie, I do want to address an interesting controversy which I didn't know about until well after the fact. So Midnight's Edge put out a video. It was called, let me bring it up here. No, Predator Badlands is not queer, nor woke for that matter. Review, mild spoilers. And I looked at that and I went, what? like all I knew about Badlands was what I saw in the trailer, and the trailer looked terrible. Like, it just looked poorly rendered. But I figured, well, maybe that's an unfinished trailer that they threw on television during Monday Night Football. Who gives a fuck? I'll go see the movie. I'll talk about it with Robert. They will be punching, cake. And today I get up and I'm scrolling through YouTube and I see this video and I'm like, what happened here? So I took the video. I didn't have time to watch it. I took the video. I threw it into Notebook LM, and then I had to break it down into bullet points so we can address this. But the overall takeaway is, the provided text, an excerpt from the YouTube video transcript, discusses the film Predator: Badlands and the controversies and rumors that circulated before its release, particularly regarding whether the movie contained queer or woke themes. Andre asserts that initial audience skepticism was fueled by baseless rumors, including alleged romance between the Predator and the synthetic being, and then by Hollywood reporters' attempts to portray the franchise as gay in a positive review.
Because the Hollywood Reporter is a rag that should not be used for anything.
Everybody is gay. The narrator counters these claims, explaining that the movie follows a smaller, deviant predator named Deck, whose stature is meant to represent dwarfism, not queerness, and concludes, I didn't get either of those things, but then
no. How do you no, guy?
I don't get me wrong, I slept through a good portion of the first act, but I not at any point did I get dwarfism, queerness, or otherness.
Okay, look. Well, let me very briefly.
Mm-hmm.
Deck is described as a runt.
Right.
He is malformed relative to his species. He is shorter than them all. He is a little bit weaker than most of them. This is not the equivalent of dwarfism. He's not out here coming up to somebody's hip. Okay? This is a bit more like, we really prefer everyone that is born and part of our family to be at least 6'1", and you're 5'7".
Yeah. The film is a fan-oriented entry focused on action and brutality, ranking it highly among the franchise's sequels, despite minor creative flaws. Ultimately, the source frames the media narrative as an attempt by industry trades to sabotage the movie's box office by manufacturing controversy similar to what was purportedly done with Superman. So I said, can you lay out in bullet points this video, the news story citing, etc.? So I kind of want to go through these one by one with you. We don't need to spend forever on them, but I did want to address them. Again, the movie argues that the movie is not queer or woke, which I would agree with. The video asserts that all the noise surrounding the film was just disinformation.
That's a bit of a stretch. It's a lot of just people being stupid and biased and wanting to see things reflected back at them. And Grace Randolph going on Twitter going, look at all the incels who can't handle the Predator having a synthetic girlfriend, and us all telling her to please go put your head in the oven, sweetheart.
The movie was very clearly made with the fans in mind and intended to do the Predator right and the franchise justice.
Yeah, sure. I'll debate that. But I'm not with you. I would.
The video concludes that there is no overt wokeness nor hint of romance between the Predator and the robot. He calls her tool and throws her around. And while I would say that's a lot of relationships that I'm aware of,
it is.
I would not necessarily call that romance.
You're not a woman. They love it.
Who, you, me?
For the purposes of this moment, yes, I will be playing the role of the part of Mark Radulich.
I spit on your meat. The reviewer ranks Predator bad. I can't wait for the AI to fucking do the transcript later. I was like, why does he keep doing that? Predator Badlands is the third best Predator movie, placing it behind the original and Predators, and specifically ranking it above Predator 2.
I would disagree with that, but that's Andre's opinion.
It is considered a shame that Hollywood trades went out of their way to sabotage the movie. The intention from the filmmakers is that Deck suffers from Predator dwarfism. There's a citation here. I don't know if you want me to read this.
Please do.
This movie isn't for built-in fans. Before continuing, this Predator is queer. And we say it by we, the Hollywood Reporter, means that the woke karate elite. Okay, I'm guessing some of this transcript is not correct. And
Clearly.
dwellers of the Hollywood bubble that have completely and utterly destroyed the entertainment landscape in the name of DEI. We should proclaim this queer. Well, if they do, that's pretty homophobic of them, because the movie makes it abundantly clear that there is something overtly and immediately visibly wrong with Deck. It's not just that other predators see him as broken, and less than the Weyland-Yutani sense also instantly recognize that this particular specimen is physically deviant, borderline disabled by predator standards, and of no use to them. I mean, that goes a little bit against the usual messaging where Hollywood is concerned. No, because make no mistake about it, the intention from the filmmakers is that Deck suffers from predator dwarfism, not predator queerness.
Okay, what you don't actually have a citation there. This is not someone who's actually got any information, any quotes from the filmmaker or the writers or anyone like that. This is someone blaring their own opinion, and it's now being recycled as a citation to try and make it legitimate.
Well,
this is the problem.
My use of the word citation was, I didn't realize that it was a citation from the transcript, not a citation from another source. My apologies.
Okay.
That's on me.
Either way, this is what you get with AI. with these generative things. So no, I don't think he even suffers from predator dwarfism. That would have been called. He's just a short guy who's not as strong as his other family members. And when you're, a eugenics-based society, but please root for them anyway, then that's enough.
So I scanned down here for some more interesting tidbits here. The initial hype for Predator Badlands was not strong, partly because many were put off by the look and the dreads of the titular predator. Rumors circulated among the fan base that there might be a hint of romance between the predator and the synth, a rumor that did not increase desire to see the movie among the built-in audience. More about the Hollywood Reporter saying it's all gay. The irony is that THR gave the movie a positive review, yet the video argues they arguably damaged its box office by trying to will an era of queerness into it.
Look, let me make this real easy.
Mm-hmm.
There's a class of movie reviewer and people in the online ecosystem about this who are incapable of not projecting what they want to be in a movie onto it. So if they like it and they happen to like queer stuff, there must be gayness in it.
I don't even think it's a matter of liking queer stuff. They want queerness to be queer stuff to be accepted as mainstream. That's really the agenda.
Congratulations. It pretty much is. Here's the problem. People confuse mainstream with universal acceptance. And no, morons, I deal with a sport that spent years, and I mean years, fighting to try and be quote unquote mainstream. We got there about 8-10 years ago when they were on Fox, for crying out loud, then ESPN. You don't get more mainstream than that. And a bunch of us had to look around and realize, oh, this is mainstream, but it doesn't have the mass appeal of football or basketball or whatever. Like, yeah, that's just it. No one's throwing up roadblocks for queer cinema. It is functionally mainstream. There's nothing stopping it. It just doesn't have the biggest audience, and that's not the same thing, guys.
Every June, I dedicate the entire month of June to doing triple features or on trials or whatever to queer cinema. I have never run out of material. Never.
And you never will.
I don't go much further back typically in my movie reviews than the 70s. I kind of draw a hard line at about, somewhere in the 70s, and that's it. I'm not going further back than that. From the 70s until now, I never have a hard time finding gay cinema. I just don't. And I've been doing this for several years now. There is not a lack of queer culture out there if that's what you would like to consume. And not everybody has to. I like to do it, but I also like to focus on Afro-American films. I also, there was a point where every holiday that came up, I was looking for something that reflected in it or looked at different cultures of things. But that's what I do running this podcast. So I want to get to the last part of this so we can actually review the movie, seeing as we're 30 minutes into this. I wrote, Any idea why why the Hollywood Reporter allegedly went out of their way to sabotage this movie? And Notebook LM is so polite. It says, that's an insightful question about the alleged media maneuvering surrounding Predator Badlands. Drawing on the sources, it's clear the video argues that the Hollywood trades, particularly the Hollywood Reporter, damaged the movie's box office. The sources suggest several potential motivations for why the Hollywood trades might have gone out of their way to sabotage or damage the narrative of Predator Badlands. Pushing the preferred narrative. We've really kind of going to go over this a bunch of times, but the video explicitly states that THR was trying to push a narrative that Hollywood likes, a narrative that the sources claim has completely and utterly destroyed the entertainment landscape.
Certainly done bad damage to it that they may never recover from.
The trades, identified as a major industry opinion leaders, wanted to proclaim, this Predator is queer. We should say it. With the video interpreting this we as the woke elite of dwellers of the Hollywood bubble. All right, so he doesn't... yeah, so this is a lot of stuff that Andre says with a lot of his movies. But anyway, did you want to add anything else to this? Like I said, I wasn't like completely familiar with what the controversy was. I didn't get any of that from this, so I went into this completely cold. I was like, we're here. I'm going to review it on Monday. I had been up since 5 o'clock that morning, so I was a little on the tired side. And I'm like, I'll just see what this is, and I don't want to know too much about it. So hearing that there was all this controversy after the fact, I was like, what the hell? Now, having read all of that, processed it, and discussing it with you, boy, is there a lot of projection coming out of the Hollywood Reporter and anyone else that was quoting that line.
An enormous amount. Again, a giant chunk of this is, I like it, therefore everything about it must conform to all of my interests, which is horseshit. But that's where we are with movie reviewers. All
right. So do the quick and dirty here.
All right. So we open with Deck, our Yautja protagonist. He and his brother are going through a bit of a thing. He's trying to earn his cloaking device.
They started with them doing a performance of YMCA, and that one of them was wearing an Indian costume, and the other one was doing a sailor, and then there were some other predators around in a leather biker outfit and a cop. I can see your tumor.
I can see yours too.
Mine's right about here.
So they, again, Deck is trying to win his cloaking device because this is what we do. And his brother's kind of looking out for him. And then their father shows, and he's like, okay, so Deck, it is about time for your first solo hunt. So you got to choose the creature you will go hunt. And Deck, compensating for something, chooses the one creature that no one has ever killed and brought back, the Kalisk from Genna. And his brother's like, really? This seems like a bad idea. And he goes, no, I will do it. Then father will love me. Because subtlety. Then their dad shows up and he looks at the older brother and goes, why didn't you kill him yet? I told you to do this already. His brother goes, he wants to hunt the Kalisk. Like, this is a suicide mission. Let him. And the dad goes, no, I'm being unreasonable. So he tells Quay to kill his brother, and Quay refuses, and he launches his brother into space towards the planet, and then the dad kills the brother. And Deck crash lands on the most inhospitable planet in the world that still supports life. Inhospitable does not mean what this movie says it means. And he wanders around, he loses some equipment, he fights a few things, and then he finds a torso. Doing an impression of Donkey from the Shrek movies. This is Elle Fanning as Thia. And they help each other out. Then she gets to do the C-3PO and Chewbacca thing, which was clearly like what the director had a big hard-on for in this movie. And they wander through the thing. She's going to help him hunt the doohickey, and he'll take her to get her legs reattached, and all will be grand. Along the way, they find a little merchandising opportunity, which follows them around for a bit. And, oh, do you think they'll form a found family by the end of this, Mark?
Could be.
Eventually, they get to the wreckage of the Weyland-Yutani thing, where Thia starts putting herself back together. Oh, somewhere in the middle of this, we cut away to Thia's robotic counterpart, Tessa, who gets lectured by the mother computer about capturing the Calisk because nefarious Weyland-Yutani bioengineering, whatever. And sent out with more synthetics because we shouldn't feel bad when they die. And this is how we get a body count without risking a PG-13 rating.
All I could think about was, my God, 20 years later, we're still doing a Star Wars, this time the Phantom Menace.
Yep.
We got to kill a large army. Well, there's children in the audience. We got to kill a large robot army.
That's how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
So they get to where Thia's legs are, and she starts putting herself back together, and then calls her sister and tells Deck, "You should probably leave. I was just using you, don't you understand? You had to get me here so I could get my legs." And there's been, friction. And then he summons the Calisk by blowing something up. Okay. And as soon as you get close to the Calisk and you look at its face, you go, "Oh, you're the big version of that little merchandising opportunity that's been following us around. It's supposed to be cute." So he fights it, and this thing just can't die. It regenerates. He cuts its head off, and his body grabs the head and puts it back on.
Hey, yo. I didn't like that at all.
So that goes on, but then finally the Calisk smells him and goes, "Oh, my kid spit on you. So I'm not going to kill you." And then Tessa shows up with some frost grenades from the Predator ship because despite all the Yautja and all the Weyland-Yutani things that have shown up trying to catch this thing, no one tried ice. No one tried cooling it at any point, apparently.
Well, the Predators are kind of dumb.
So they freeze it in place, freeze Deck in place. They capture it. They capture him. Tessa kind of turns on Thia because Tessa is still very much programmed, and Thia's like, "I've grown beyond my programming. Don't you understand?
I'm a real boy now."
Yeah. Deck escapes with her help. He then spends a montage merging with the jungle, Rambo style, and
all of the lessons that Thia taught him, now he can employ them. See.
Then he stages then he gets the little Calisk and goes, "Oh, you're a baby Calisk," which we all figured out. And we're going to now go save Thia and save your mom, and it'll be great. So he goes and he mows through a bunch of synthetic life forms. Thia gets her legs back. Tessa shows up in a big loader and thankfully doesn't say, "Get away from her, you bitch."
I was waiting for it. I was also waiting for her to say, "Any way you want it, that's the way you need it. Any way you want it."
And right about then, they all decide to go their separate ways. So the Calisk gets released. There's a big fight. They seem to win. The Calisk eats Tessa and bonds with Deck. But then from the inside, it freezes and blows up because Tessa still had all the frost grenades and the Predator shoulder cannon. And then she goes to kill Thia, but takes forever and a day just so Thia can say the "we're not sisters" line, and then Deck stabs her from behind, and the little Calisk yanks her head off to do the Predator, "I yanked out your skull and your spine" thing, even though it's never seen Deck actually do that bit.
Yeah. It was the equivalent of delivering the line wrong, "Get away from her, you bitch."
Yeah. Then Deck goes back to his home world with the head of the synth and goes, "This is my trophy, give me my cloak." And the dad goes, "No, you're still short."
None of this cured the real problem here, which is you're not tall.
Yeah. So Deck kills a couple of other Yautjas, then he kills his dad, gets the cloak, and then in our sequel bait, another ship arrives, and he goes, "Oh boy, it's my mom."
Okay. Kids liked it. I thought it was fine. Lying about it, this wasn't a Predator movie, I might have liked it more. I mean, my only way of relating to that is you call it Predator, you have to factor in the legacy of this franchise, and all I can think about is this franchise is going on about a decade or two too long. the Predator does the same thing in almost every movie. This one, here, watch a Predator do Predator stuff, but this time it isn't hunting humans to relate to. So you're forced into relating to the actual Predator, and okay, I'm glad this particular Native American survived his hunt and became Big Chief. Cool. Elle Fanning tries. God bless her. It is just taken on its own and not thinking about other films and not thinking about being a reviewer and just kind of going for the ride, being a Chris Bailey about the whole thing. It's a 5. It's perfectly okay. It was moderately entertaining for what I was awake for. Performances are 5. Aesthetic 5. Story 5. Like, it is the most contenty of content. It is made for the purpose of keeping the IP viable. Sort of. It's so full of familiar tropes. It could almost be a textbook for college screenwriters. Here, this is what script looked like. Do this. It could have been an insert in Joseph Campbell's Heroes with 1,000 Faces. It was the most familiar, comforting plate of bland cookies I've seen in quite some time. Like, it's not bad. It's just not interesting in any kind of way.
It's not very good.
It's entertaining for people who don't watch a lot of movies or care to think about them after they've watched them.
Yeah.
I would say it's a great movie for scrolling on your phone, except that you have to read the subtitles to know what the Predators are saying. But even after a while, that's not... Yeah, who cares? It's mostly Elle Fanning talking, and he stops talking for a while and just does action stuff. So, second half of it's really great for modern audiences who like to scroll on their phones while they're watching. Predator Badlands. Really, really good background noise. Robert?
That may be the best description of this movie I've ever heard. Let me... Taken on its own terms, this is a perfectly fine, disposable piece of forgettable, family-friendly science fantasy action adventure. It's not interesting, it's not memorable, it's not much of anything, but it's mostly competent.
People are just like, wow, they're saying the same thing. And they're also probably asking, well, what's good? Well, Mickey 17 wasn't good. But Mickey 17 did something this movie didn't. And I'm bringing that up because there was a lot of similarities. They kind of look the same. Everything is boring looking. Everything is gray. But Mickey 17, not enough, because I remember our review of this going, golly, we wish they did more of this sort of thing, but they decided to go in this other direction. But at least Mickey 17 attempted to deal with something. It attempted to say something about the nature of humanity and life and death. This movie doesn't even do that. This movie presents itself like a children's book. It's not asking anything of its reader. It's going, here, read me, to learn to read, to be interesting. This is a great elementary school age book to give to a boy to get him into reading. And the reason why I interrupted you is because what could have made it better is if they had done a Mickey 17 and actually tried to talk about something in this. But nobody wants to do that, and I'm not even sure there's a taste for it among the audience watching this thing, because if this got high marks, then all anyone cares about is watching the Predator do Predator stuff, which he does. So if you're into Predator porn, not the way that sounds, then by all means, this is your movie. Back to you.
Yeah, the keys jingle a lot. if you also want some good stuff to take away from this, let me give you a few. The music's pretty good. So there's that. This was very clearly not. When we talk, you and I have like beaten the drum about bad use of special effects and having to like reshoot everything. In another bit of like things I have to praise about this, the director pretty clearly had all of his visuals already in mind. So he could just shoot the movie and didn't have to reshoot it and bloat the budget. So good job being competent.
I effectively did my job. You're a wizard, Harry.
Yeah. I didn't care for most of the action, to be perfectly honest. A bunch of the stuff. There's a few too many instances during the big fight with all the androids where nobody behaves appropriately just so the cool thing can happen.
Yeah.
And I can only like there's that scene where he's kneeling and all the androids come up behind him and nobody shoots him. They all just get into the big tunnel so the big trap can go off.
Right.
Which is really dumb. It's a cool it's a cool trap. I wish you hadn't had to break my immersion to get it to go off.
Yeah, I can hear the not that he does a lot of these anymore, but I can hear the movie pitch guy, the pitch meeting guy going, awfully considerate robots.
Yeah, extremely. There's another time when one comes up behind him and goes, stop, instead of just shooting him in the back of the head. Also, yeah. Elle Fanning can have a hero moment.
Been thinking an awful lot about how when movies go out of their way to portray how inhuman we are to each other. Thinking about the last Rambo movie, how brutal some of those scenes are with the Mexican sex traffickers. Thinking about some of the, like something like The Deer Hunter or some of these other movies where you have mass graves, things of that nature, really brutal human stuff. My big takeaway, and the reason why I brought it up, is real people acting in moments where they would prefer if you were dead, just shoot you. There's nothing dramatic about it. There's nothing even dramatic about the way it's presented on film or in TV or whatever. It's just, I hate to bring up a silly one, but nude nuns with big guns. They're doing stuff to the wife, and the father's crying, and the guy goes, "Go, be a hero, save her. I'll give you a chance." Gets up, starts to run toward her, shoots him in the back. I don't even know if they would do that much. But my point is, at no point do people do the things they do in this movie, and they're only done to create big action hero moments.
And it's worse because they're not even people. Who programs a robot to do this? Yeah, it's just dumb. So you can't see a lot of the final fight with Deck and the loader because nighttime, and this is just a tradition at this point. I don't know. I
wish they had been in space so he could have blown it out an airlock. Because Journey has more than 2 hits.
Sure. Then here's and so again, taken on its own, like you said, it's fine. It exists. I'm not trying to insult anyone who did enjoy it. No, seriously.
No, I know, but there's people listening to this. Like, I know Neil's been in here for a while. I don't know if he's still listening, but just like, did you like Deadpool and Wolverine? You'll love Predator Badlands. Poor Neil and Alexis. Why? Stop picking on us.
Like I said, I'm not trying to insult anyone that did enjoy this movie. God bless.
Mm-hmm.
But if the only thing you have to contribute to the discussion is I really liked it, then God bless, and there's the door. And that's a lot of what's been going on on the social medias about this. And I made the mistake of engaging with part of it.
What did you do, Robert?
nothing major. Like, this hasn't blown up or anything, but I commented a few different things. Because someone mentioned, like, man, I just watched a monster tear apart an android that was using a giant mech. Like, how is this not cool? And I responded, because there was 90 minutes of forced adorkable dialogue where clearly they wanted to hire Zooey Deschanel but couldn't get her.
Also, say that line again.
I just watched a monster fight a robot piloting a mech. How is this not cool?
That's what a 6-year-old says about his toys.
I'm aware. I didn't say that because that's a bit too insulting. So I actually limit.
But it's the truth.
It is, and I should have said it. But I'm trying to be a bit more diplomatic, so I limited my negative response to the scope of what I didn't like about the movie.
I want to direct an action movie, and I literally want the action to be the guys just smashing together like a child would his toys. Just literally, like, they don't punch or kick. They literally just bang belly to belly into each other.
You could do that. So I said that, and I got into a moderately decent discussion with somebody about part of this.
Was this on Twitter?
Yeah.
Okay.
So again, part of my thing was, and somebody responded and just said, I really do wish that Prey and this had been unique IPs. Because what do we do? Like, the actual, like, lore and whatever about the IP doesn't really add anything to them, and I'd really rather we were making new things.
Yeah. What?
And hang on.
If you just change a little bit the alien in Prey and make it its own movie, what would it have hurt that movie? Other than, I mean, it went straight to Hulu, so it's not like it had.
It wouldn't have hurt anything.
Yeah.
And that point was being raised. So some moron said, so you're saying they should, but so you're doing if it was a completely different movie, and we all kind of collectively just facepalmed and went, keep the same story, keep the same actors, keep the same movie, change the Yautja to any other alien and change the title. That's all. That's it.
Here's the thing.
What does this movie gain or lose by that?
Well, I actually think this movie makes the Predator franchise a lot worse. Here's my argument. When I asked Ronnie Adams, good to his mother, does knowing Michael Myers' motivation make him more or less terrifying? I was told less. I was told by Gavin, Ronnie, and everybody else that some things are just meant to be evil. We are not meant to understand them. They should not be understood. You and I have talked about you went on a rant last year about Wicked and, turning the Wicked Witch of the West into a sympathetic character, and all that has wrought.
Yep.
Talked about Maleficent. Maleficent. Okay. We talked about Maleficent, about how turning her into a sympathetic character kind of ruins that character. Some things should just have to be pure evil. What was there to understand about the Predator culture? These things are defined by their desire to hunt. And the bigger the game, the better the hunter. That was all you needed to know about the Predators. Same thing with the aliens. We didn't need a Prometheus or a Covenant or anything else for that matter. We don't need to know where the xenomorphs came from. They are giant killing sex machines. Let it be.
When I first reviewed Alien Covenant, I took the opposite stance very briefly.
Mm-hmm.
Because I heard from people that explaining the alien makes them less scary, and my default response was, knowing that it was created by David doesn't mean it can't rip your face off. But as time, again, like a week later after thinking about it, I went, no, a big part of what makes these things scary is the unknown component to them. It's supposed to tap into the cosmic horror of all these things beyond our comprehension and how small we are. And the incessant need to explain and understand everything does make that a little bit worse.
Well, I'll take it an even step further. Because you and I have been, as of late, and I've been doing a lot of this on my own TikTok, this has been a real bee in my bonnet as of late, a real bone to pick, is how we've defaulted in our culture to pathologizing everything. We used to say, Robert Winfrey, everything is the fucking culture war. Now, everything is feelings. Everything is trauma.
Everything.
And so here we are with Predator Badlands,
And the real villains are the AI supercomputer working at the best of the megacorp and the toxic masculinity of the Yautja homeworld.
right. And instead of just letting the Predator be a thing that's really good at killing and you have to be a better killer to survive it, no. It has to be a traumatized thing that's just trying to not be othered. I hate present day. I watched Commando the other day, and I finally
felt something in your soul again.
My testosterone was in the air.
Dude, I was tempted to try and be on that podcast because that trio is some of my favorite Schwarzenegger movies.
Mm-hmm.
Commando is peak. It's a darn near perfect movie for what it is.
Yeah.
True Lies is criminally underappreciated in so many ways.
Yep.
And what was the third one you did?
Last Action Hero.
And dude, Last Action Hero was like a decade ahead of its time.
Yeah, it really was. So that's really, and for me, any discussion worth having about Predator Badlands beyond I like that it's good is the fact that it's a victim of the time we're living in, and it makes it infinitely worse.
So here's if I wanted to mention like why I really didn't like this movie, it comes down to this is not the movie I was promised. That's not the same thing as saying this isn't the movie I had in my head. You stick Predator on something that comes with expectation. The trailers for this promised a pretty specific tone. That is not the tone of the movie.
What this should have been is they drop this misfit onto a world that's supposed to eat him up and kill him. And it should have been Salvation Run. He should have found this thing, repaired it so that, because he could use it to get himself fuck off this thing. And it's not that he's there to hunt the big game to prove himself to his dad. He's there because he was sent to die and he's trying to live. And his coming back should have been just that. The Salvation Run thing of like Lex Luthor proving to everybody, you can't kick me off the earth. I'm better than the rest of you, and you know it. And, from the ashes, from this deserted island planet out in the cosmos, he finds his way back to Earth and gives the big fuck you to the Justice League. That would have been a perfectly fine movie, and it would have been really brave of them to do this almost entirely not in English. With occasional things that Elle Fanning says, like, don't eat that, don't eat that, that's going to kill you. That's fine. That sort of thing, and have him like prove himself by getting off this planet and going home and giving the big fuck you to dad. That would have been great. That's a movie worth watching.
Yeah, so again, my big gripe with this movie is I didn't get the movie that they advertised.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get the movie that was promised by what they did. And the Predator IP being attached to this is of no value. You can replace the Yautja in this with the Mandalorians, and you get the same movie. You can replace them with the Klingons, and you get the same movie. You can replace them with any alien species you want to make up.
I was going to say replace with Conan the Barbarian.
This thing has... Someone tried to argue this is like Raiders of the Lost Ark, and I almost lost my mind.
In what way?
This movie leans heavily into genre pulp.
Oh, okay.
But at that point, you're making such an abstraction, you're not actually making a point. This has more in common with John Carter of Mars than it does with Raiders of the Lost Ark.
I was going to say, by that logic, it also has a lot in common with Pulp Fiction. They were both shot on film.
Yeah, again, like you've abstracted this to the point where you're not actually being all that useful.
Yeah.
But I didn't get what you sold me. And that's been a thing. Mark, you and I have mentioned this more than once.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't even, what we create in our heads necessarily. This is what is the advertising.
I said this about Caught Stealing.
Yep.
I still want to keep going back to, but
hang on. Not just you. I defy anyone to watch the trailer for Caught Stealing, watch the movie, and tell me that movie is what you were sold.
So you've seen it now. You see what I've been saying since I saw it in the theater.
Yeah, more or less.
That was a question. Yeah. Okay, good. All right. Anything else before we move on?
Just, again, this doesn't need the IP it's attached to, therefore I'd rather it wasn't. And the other thing, like, there is a degree of pushback, especially from like real hardcore Predator fans who like the blood and the guts and the violence that's supposed to be attached to this franchise. And you could have avoided the negative pushback from them if you were honest in your marketing. If you just, hey, this is more of a quirky action adventure movie than it is a Predator film. So anyone who wants a Predator movie won't see it, and they won't whine at you about it.
Well, Pat saw it, I think, before all of us, and he was like, I can tell that this is a Disney movie. And now that you've said that and I've thought about it, yeah, why is everything that they're doing now The Mandalorian? How did we get to a place where if one thing works, everything has to be that one thing?
Because Disney.
Yeah, not a creative bone in anyone working at that company anymore.
You're not wrong, but yeah, that's where we are. I think I first heard the Critical Drinker say this feels like a leftover Mandalorian script that they swapped.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it. You've got the little monkey thing, Baby Callus, because Baby Yoda. You've got just fucking. They reworked the Mandalorian script.
And guys, let me just, for all of you saying, but I liked it, let me just warn you where this goes, okay? I'm a Hellraiser fan. I know firsthand what happens to a film franchise when all you do is facelift other scripts you have lying around to fit into that. It's not good.
And what's the one that you and Sean hate? Hellraiser Requiem, Hellraiser Bankrupt, Hellraiser. And
there's a lot.
There's a specific one that sent both of you into apoplexy.
At the time, it would have been Revelation because they hadn't released Judgment. Otherwise, it would have been that one.
Okay.
Dude, they shot Hellraiser Revelations in 2 weeks because the rights were about to expire and they forgot about them. No joke. It's terrible.
Yeah.
But like 4 other scripts in that franchise, and there's a lot of them, were just other horror movies they had lying around that were moderately interesting, but you couldn't get greenlit. So you slap Pinhead on the cover, rework it just a little bit to include some of the Cenobites, and movie.
Alrighty. With that said, here comes the money.
We're in the money. We're in the money.
I don't want anyone else on the show anymore. I like it better when it's me and you. We can just hate fucking curb stomp and hate fuck things. Makes my night so much more pleasant.
I'm happy to make your night easier.
That's you. Easy like a Sunday morning, Robert Winfrey. Hey, Predator Badlands. Everything's out of order. Predator Badlands.
That was the #1 movie of the weekend.
Grossed $40 million in the U.S. and Canada, and $40 million in other territories for a worldwide total of $80 million. And once again, on a budget of $105 million.
So again, let me just, for the sake of doing the movie math here for everyone, listed budget of $105 million, probably actually about that when it was all said and done. Those are usually underreported a little, but this one didn't look like it went over that much, if it did at all. Then you factor in about 55% of production budget as additional money that you allocate through print and advertising. So we're at like 165 million that you've invested into this project. You need to double that to start seeing profit if we're talking just what you get at the box office. So to start making money, this thing needs around 240, 250. There's a decent chance it gets there. Not a huge chance, but a decent chance.
In the U.S. and Canada, Predator Badlands was released alongside of Die, 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 My Darling. No, Die, My Love.
A single word.
Yes. Ain't my bitch. Nuremberg.
Fun fact:
Christie.
I actually timed out my black belt thesis form to "Die Die My Darling" by Metallica because that's how I knew I was on pace.
Nice. And Sarah's Oil was initially projected to gross 25 to 30 million in its opening weekend. The film made 15.6 million on its first day. Rising estimates to 36 to 38 million, a record for the Predator franchise. It would end up debuting to 40 million at the domestic box office in its opening weekend, overtaking the previous franchise record held by Alien vs. Predator, which made 38 million in 2004. The film collected an additional 40 million from international markets for a worldwide total of $80 million.
And again, when you look at just like the raw math of it, this has a little bit of a push to try and make it to really being profitable. But
So it was the number one movie of the weekend. Regretting You stayed at number 2, and The Black Phone 2 in its fourth week was knocked from 1 to 3.
yeah, we have to talk about the Black Phone 2 a little bit when we get to other things because surprisingly had some decent legs. I mean, it helped that nothing else came
I
out.
was going to say, not a lot of competition.
Well, true, but still.
Sarah's Oil debuted for Nuremberg 5. Begonia dropped from 5 to 6. Chainsaw Man 3 to 7. Die My Love debuted at 8. Springsteen, which was the last AMU Hollywood we did 2 weeks ago, in its third week dropped from 7 to 9. Tron Ares in its fifth week dropped from 8 to 10. Christie, who was put up by Black Bear about some female boxer.
You know what? For the record, the news came out that had bombed on its debut,
Mm-hmm.
and the bulk of the reactions were, "I have not seen 1 single cent worth of advertising to let me know it was coming out.
Yeah.
I would have watched it." Yeah, that's Sydney Sweeney playing Christy Martin.
Oh, good. That debuted at 11. The 40th anniversary of Back to the Future fell from 6 to 12.
I am so annoyed I couldn't find a screening of that near me.
So one battle after another fell from 11 to 13. And the only thing I want to say about that is on Halloween, I took my kids to Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios. And, people dress up in costume at these things, or they wear Halloween shirts. I was wearing my Ghoul-Aid t-shirt that I'd gotten from the TikTok shop. Okay. And there's a guy online at one of the haunted houses. And I looked up at him and I said, "I love your costume. This is amazing." And he was like, "Oh, good. Finally, somebody got who it was." He was dressed up as Leonardo DiCaprio from one battle after another, bathrobe and everything. And here's the thing. I love the fact that he dressed up as this character because this is a new thing and it's an indie movie and yada, yada, yada. So it's like, oh, good. Fellow film person. I shouldn't have said anything.
Oh, what'd you do?
Because then he was just like, "Oh, fellow film person.
Yeah.
How many times have you seen it?" And I went, "One was enough."
Once.
And I could see his heart break, as I didn't like the movie as much as he did. He had seen it 3 or 4 times.
That's just sad.
Yeah. Are you a weeb if you're like that way about Wes Anderson? Does that make you a weeb?
No.
Okay. Stitch.
Why?
What?
How do you not?
I heard someone use weeb in a sentence, and I wanted to try. I'm not young.
Okay, weeb is shorthand for weeaboo, which is largely just a person who's obsessed, Western or usually American, but not exclusively, who's obsessed with Japanese culture.
Wonderful. The Christmas Ring debuted at 15. Grand Prix of Europe 18. Sentimental Value 20. The 2025 re-release of Chicken Run dated to 2022. Peter Hero's Day.
I have to ask, did you get the trailer for Sisu 2 ahead of this movie? Because I did.
I've seen the trailer for Sisu 2 like 3 times now.
I'm not going to lie, didn't think that movie needed a sequel, but if it's just as...
really doesn't.
It doesn't, but if it's just as bonkers as the first one was, you know what? I will see it and I will have a good time.
Every time I've seen the trailer, I can see more hair grow on Jonas.
That's true. That will make you a man.
Yes. I told him, I said, like, I don't always have the time to watch all the movies with Jonas. Like, we have our, I see them I have them every other week, and every other Tuesday is movie night here. I stop working a little bit early, and we put a movie on, usually something I have to review Thursday. So this week is The Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oof.
So I told Jonas that I don't have time to watch Sisu with you, but you should watch it on your own. And then if you do and you want to, we'll go see the second one, because oh doggy.
It made my top 10 that year. Like
Yeah.
I had more fun with that movie than I should have.
Yeah, I had a lot of so we did the triple feature because I didn't realize Barbie was going to be what it was, and so I paired that one with the bear and Sisu, and I made the joke at the time. I was like, oh good, this looks like the polyamory flag. It's just fucking Sisu and what the fuck the comic who was the bear, bookending Barbie, huh? Natchez debuted at 38. Put your soul on your hand and walk and spit on your meat at
I
47.
knew you were gonna do that.
There's a movie called Fuck My Son! Exclamation point.
It's the exclamation point that sells it.
You're not wrong. Berlin debuted at number 50. And that was the weekend that was. Let's see how many Marvel movies are not in the top 10.
None of them. Oh, Fantastic Four still there.
Yeah, Fantastic Four is still there. Got beat by Demon Slayer though. Again, not a lot of movement here. There hasn't been much movement
So,
since the summer.
just for the record, we're probably not seeing something move until Wicked,
Yeah,
right? We went through. Oh no, Zootopia is before Wicked, right?
yeah. So Zootopia, Wicked, and Avatar will all be in
Yeah.
the top 10, which means not in the top 10 this year will be Superman, Mission Impossible, Demon Slayer, and the Fantastic Four.
In all probability. Well, no, Superman might hang on to that spot because you're getting 3 more. So
Right. So everything underneath it will definitely get pushed out. But
again, we'll see what happens. Yeah, look, guys, this was reported that this October was the worst theatrical take in the last 7 years, excluding the 1 year of the pandemic. Like, this was a bad year. October was a bad month for movies.
yeah, you really can't. Well, it also lost a few movies. It lost the Mortal Kombat sequel that got pushed into next year.
Yeah, that wouldn't have helped all that much, but it would have been something.
But I mean, like, they expected Tron to be bigger than it was. It wasn't.
Morons expected Tron to be bigger than it was.
So it lost Mortal Kombat. Tron bombed. I'm looking at what would have been. So you had the Smashing Machine, Tron, the Black Phone, and then finally Springsteen. Yeah, it wasn't a strong October to begin with. I'm not really surprised. Just I'm curious. Last October, I feel like, because in the years past, October was always like things were picking up again. So last October 2024 was Joker Folie à Deux, which, had that movie not been a piece of shit,
Might have
might have done better. We didn't do anything. I guess I must have been sequestered or some shit. Because we didn't do anything for Columbus Day. Oh Jesus Christ. We did not do anything. We did Damn You Hollywood, but that was our top 10 worst movies of the year so far. And then Venom. Joker and Venom. All right, there's a better way to do this. List of American movies 2024.
Yeah, Wikipedia has those all listed out.
Well, we didn't do a lot last October, so I'm wondering. So I'm missing things that came out to have made my point.
Yeah.
Because, okay. So Joker was the 4th. On the 11th, there was Terrifier 3, Piece by Piece, The Apprentice.
So not a lot. I think Terrifier won that weekend, which is weird for an extreme movie like that.
Okay, now I understand what happened here. I didn't want to do Smile 2. Everybody else did. But Smile 2
Smile
came
2
out.
did okay.
And Smile 2 was a big hit for what it was. That was the week of the 18th. And then, the 25th was Venom. There you go. There you go.
But this year, the good horror movies got released earlier for whatever reason.
Yeah, I know you and I have had this fist fight in the past about maybe reserve some more of your horror movie. Like, Final Destination, I know what you did last summer. A couple of these came out over the summer. They might have
Some
done
of
better in
those-
October.
Yeah, at least one of those should have been moved here. I don't know. Were they worried about Tron Ares? Like, who thought that was going to do?
We can't release. I know what you did last summer. Tron's coming out. It's going to eat up the box office.
Morons.
Yeah. So anyway, that was.
Oh yeah. Now, so hang on. Scroll down through the top 10. And there's been no movement in the top 10. I do want to check a few things further down.
Right. So just the bottom here: Superman, Mission Impossible, Demon Slayer, Fantastic Four, holding on by a thread.
It's gonna hold on for a little bit longer.
The Conjuring: Last Rites died
So
before the 500 million mark.
Yeah, but it beat Captain America: Brave New World and Thunderbolts.
Yeah, it's pretty embarrassing if you work for Marvel Studios this year. Sinners is at number 14. We have Final Destination, Weapons, The Bad Guys, Snow White at number 18.
Hey, one battle after another couldn't beat Snow White.
Not yet, at least.
It won't.
Tron Ares, currently the number 26 movie in the
Hey,
world.
look, $139 million take on a budget that was $200 million. Like, just stop.
Predator Badlands came in at number 40 at 79 million.
That'll make some headway. It'll probably get to, well, because again, it's 80 worldwide. That'll get north of 100 million in the next 2 weeks, pretty easily, I think.
Yeah. All right. No need to beat a dead horse. I don't really have a whole lot.
And yet we will.
So let's get into, if you don't have anything else, once, twice, 3 times a lady.
I'm not looking forward to this next part where the morons fawn over this thing like it's the second coming.
Speaking of coming, here is the critical review.
Are you ready? No! I said, are you ready?
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
This is why nobody likes our shows. This is why nobody invites us to parties.
I'm perfectly fine not being invited to parties.
Top critics, 81%. All critics, 85%.
There's at least a small percentage with a degree of integrity.
All audience, 93%. Verified audience, 95%.
Negligible.
Just, you got to give the people what they want, Robert, and what they want is slop.
I hate so much about how accurate that statement is.
Director Dan Trachtenberg continues to take the Predator franchise in exciting new directions. Oh, that's a lie. With Badlands, a rollicking adventure that transforms one of cinema's most iconic brutes into a hero worth rooting for.
Not really.
Do you remember, Robert Winfrey, where we used
Probably.
to cheer men glistening with sweat, covered in camo, and blowing away armies of people? Do you remember that, Robert Winfrey?
I do, but that was before masculinity became coded for toxic, and women all decided that the best thing to fantasize about were minotaurs or eldritch abominations.
And doors and pumpkin spice lattes.
I sent you that
story.
video, right? I don't know if you got a chance to watch it, but geez. The
All
women
right.
are not okay, Mark.
No, they are not. But I could have told you that 2 marriages ago. Kevin Marr of the Times UK, a depressingly schmaltzy effort that unwisely attempts to reimagine the Beastie as a sympathetic hero, complete with tragic backstory about the perils of clan life on Predator home planet of Yautja Prime.
I don't disagree.
Max Sance, Vincent of the Cosmic Circus. It's a Predator movie for the Coco Melon generation.
That's about right.
Let's see. Jeffrey Harris of 401mania.com.
I don't like disagreeing with Jeff like this, but I'm gonna.
The story breaks new ground for the franchise, creating an
No.
immersive, entertaining, and action-packed adventure
No.
about a Yautja warrior that genuinely works.
The
Boo,
middle,
Jeff, boo.
dude. The middle, like 30 minutes of this is a drag.
Yeah. I'm not going to say that's why I kept passing out, but it didn't help.
It didn't help.
Sean Burns of North Shore Movies. Feels like one of those crummy Star...
He is not wrong at all about this one.
Feels like one of those crummy Star Wars shows on Disney Plus, dense with lore cheaply made and aimed at children. Ha cha 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 cha.
He is, you know what? If you enjoyed it, once again, God bless. I'm not here to insult you, but that is an accurate summation of this movie.
Mark Kermode of Kermode and Mayo's Take, YouTube top critic. I was unengaged by it. Well, good for you.
I assume that you had something more to say than just that, but man.
Did any of your wives go see this?
I want to say something horribly racist, but I won't.
Oh, I can only imagine. Let's see.
Okay, I wasn't going to say something quite as racist as, John Lennon, but...
Okay. Oh, speaking of racist, Travis Hobson of Punch Drunk Critics. Overall, Predator Badlands kicks ass, especially if you're a devoted fan of these films.
No.
I'm going to start referring to Travis Hobson as Black Chris Bailey.
Okay.
Wow. You went with that way too easily.
What am I going to do? Argue with you about it?
I didn't even get a, ooh, that hurts, or that stings. You're just like, yes,
I think
very
that-
good. Then
I
sip
think
your
that's
brandy.
I think that's accurate about both of them. Start calling Bailey the white Travis Hobson and see what happens.
Could ever change his name in the group chat.
Do it. White Travis Hobson.
Nick Johnson of Vanyaland. A decent consolation prize, one that's hampered by a nearly insurmountable conception. What's funny about Chris is that he says so much shit in the group chat, and I don't say anything back. And then we get to Monday, and I'm just like, here comes the gravy pipe, like where he can't defend himself at all. That'll teach you guys for talking in the group chat. Well, it was a fucking Jason or somebody who was like, oh, it's awfully quiet in here. Yes, you made this a terrible place to share your opinion. Congratulations, fellas. But enough about our private group chat. There she is, Carla Hay of Culture Mix. With themes of found family and anti-hero empathy, Predator Badlands is a departure from the usual formula of making the Predator the chief villain. You mean the whole point of the fucking series, you twat? Jesus. This less violent and more comedic Predator movie is original in some areas and cliche in others.
It is original in no... Hang on. This is original in no areas. None.
Correct. None.
Second. The way she started that, I can't.
Speaking
Can't
of
Mark.
Speaking of twats, Perry Nemiroff of Perry Nemiroff, YouTube top critic. I don't think I'll ever get over the fact that we have a Predator film that's essentially an alien and a robot buddy movie. It's so refreshing to see a film franchise dish out something so unexpected. Ugh.
How much have you been hitting the head? This is refreshing. This is all they do.
Yeah. Jeremy Johns, pretty entertaining. Great, Jeremy.
Fair enough. I mean, I can't even kick him for that one. Like, it's such a weird pull. Like,
let's see. Oh, good. The future ex-Mrs. Alexis Hano, Grace Randolph of Beyond the Trailer. Disney is doing
you
a
are
great
trying to marry her to Alexis just because you know the domestic violence incidents of lesbian relationships.
I hate my job. Disney is doing
Wow, didn't expect that one.
I'm so glad AI music exists so that I can take out my passive-aggressive feelings in music. Disney is doing a great job with their Fox franchises.
The alien stuff they've done has sucked ass, ladies. Shut up.
Predator is perhaps their best yet. Tallest midget. Elle
Yeah.
Fanning is a sensation in the film, but
No.
so is newcomer Dimitrius Schuster-Koloamatangi as Deck. Dan Trachtenberg delivers a fun sci-fi fantasy film. Wonderful.
No. Elle Fanning is not a sensation. Once again, she's Donkey from Shrek.
Rachel Leichman of the Mary Sue, Robert Winfrey. Call me a girl for wanting character arcs and motivations, but I do think that Badlands shines because you understand why these Yautjas are also determined.
No, you don't. You understand Deck. You don't understand anything else. What extrapolation are you doing here in your head to get to that point? No, you're not a girl for wanting character arc and motivation. You're just misapplying it to a part of the movie a part of the story that it shouldn't be applied to.
Megan Navarro of Bloody Disgusting, top critic, says, "It won't fit in my slit." I'll read another
That's
one.
not what's written there.
Linda Merrick of Hey You Guys, top critic, says, 2 pumps in my rump.
Please stop. If you're done, we can be done.
Wait, I got one more.
All right, sure
Hold
you
everything. So slow down.
Let's see what William Bibbiani has to say.
William Bibbiani, friend of the show, the rap top critic, says, "Shoot your shot all over my chest."
Things he has never said. For the record.
I am a child. You asked me 2 hours ago if I wanted to read these on air. I didn't say I wasn't gonna. I just said not at that time.
You said I don't want to.
At
Your
that
exact
time.
word.
It was implied. I can read a few.
Was
more if
it? Like the consent that you really wanted to get at that party.
you want. You know what Robert Winfrey always says? He always says, "I want it on my face."
That is not, in fact, a thing I say.
Really? What about, "I'm going to polish your shaft"?
Nope. Can't say I've ever said that either.
I could do this all night.
You could. I am powerless to stop you. If you feel like doing this, Mr. President, I can't leave the White House until you give me permission.
Things Robert Winfrey has said for 100, Alex. Use your tongue, baby.
No.
My ass is
How sleep deprived are you?
How much time do you got?
20 minutes.
My ass is almost too tight. Here's one for all you D&D people out there. Here's one for Ronnie Adams. Dragon spunk gets me drunk.
You should send that to him in the group chat and see what his reaction will be.
What he'll probably say is, "My ass yearns for you tonight."
No, I kind of doubt he'll say that to you.
He might say, "I don't like it up my ass. I love it."
Nope, not a thing he's going to say either. I'm just sticking up for Ronnie. He's not going to encourage you to sodomize him, Mark.
Yet another disappointment in my life. And that, folks, is the end of our show.
In so many ways.
It feels good to laugh. Next week.
Feels good.
On Ye Olde Damn You Hollywood. I will read more band vinyl titles, but I will also.
You know what? I think you should open your next podcast the same way.
Well, next week we'll have Alexis with us. So
No. I didn't say no. Not the next Damn You Hollywood. Your next podcast.
Okay.
What are you doing next?
This week? Well, I'm not there yet. I'll tell you in a moment.
All right.
A week from tonight is The Running Man. 20.
The remake, not the original.
Yeah.
Did you rewatch the original yet?
This Tuesday with my son tomorrow. And then
It's not good, Mark. I warn you.
And then the week after that is neither is this football game. We're in the fourth quarter, which I did not bet on, you bully. But
You're welcome.
But the fucking Eagles over Green Bay right now, 3-0 with 12 minutes, 42 seconds left of the fourth quarter. Yeesh.
Just take the under. So wait, what was the other game you said? Something in the fourth quarter?
No, this one. There's only one.
Oh, just that one. Okay.
Yeah. The week after that was Wicked Part 2, or Wicked for Good, whatever stupid shit they're calling this. And then the week after that is Zootopia Part 2. This week, yesterday, myself and Dave had a podcast entirely devoid of filthy song titles. It was called Masters of the Air. Wednesday, I, Alexis, David, and Jesse will be reviewing Only Murders in the Building Season 5.
Yeah, you definitely need to just interject your dirty song titles into that one.
I may only answer Alexis's questions with dirty song titles.
You
Mark,
should. You really
Mark,
should.
What did you
So what did you think about the relationship between Steve Martin and Martin Short here? And it's, well, I don't like it in my
I love it. Like, what did you think of the mystery this season? Well, frankly, I wanted to put my fist up its crack. What? Anyway, Thursday we will be
What did
doing.
you think about the building? Well, it wouldn't fit.
Myself, Sean, and Kat. Kat has volunteered to do every show that Sean's on. I'm starting to think they're a thing. We're doing an on trial for the Schwarzenegger Running Man.
If you need someone else, if that falls out for whatever reason, call me.
Call you.
I will happily prosecute that dated, campy, unwieldy piece of crap.
Okay, Robert. Speaking of that, Sunday, myself and Jesse, we will be doing a triple feature, a Jonathan Lynn focus. Really just an excuse to make Jesse watch Clue and My Cousin Vinny, and then because we needed a third movie, Trial and Error.
Well, he'll have to do with those.
Then him and Alexis, who won't be reading filthy song titles, will be instead be boring and review Stranger Things season 4. And then
how dare they actually do what's advertised on the tin?
And then speaking of Put Your Penis in Me, on Thursday, November 20th, we will be doing a triple feature, one that I had specifically designed to harass Chris Bailey, but he's a punk ass and he won't do podcasts with me anymore. So instead, I got Sean Comer and Kathleen, who are up for the spot.
I can't imagine Bailey bailing on you after all the sexual harassment that you've thrown his way via song titles.
So we will be reviewing Showgirls, Striptease, and Hustlers, and I will absolutely call on you, Robert, if those two fall out. So be prepared. Make sure you watch those in preparation.
You don't want my thoughts on those. I mean, look, man, I'm here for you. You know that. This is my warning to you. I will not play along with that one. Like, I'm just gonna review that. It's not going to go well.
What makes me laugh about this is we've had a halfway decent audience most of the night. People have been watching. I mean, like nothing spectacular, less than 10 people, but people have been in and out of here. I can't believe people made it through that last fucking bit. They were like, all right, they're being silly. Like, nope, our actually fucking audience counter went up briefly. I can read more song titles. If that, I will do what the people ask of me. I am a man. I am the people's champion.
You will, in fact, turn this into the podcast equivalent of Predator Badlands and just jingle the keys for the people.
I like a good set of jingling keys, as you well know, you big bully. Speaking of which,
I know you like jingling. I'm not always sure it's the keys.
I talked about my propensity for jingling once or twice a month at the old clothing optional resorts. I'll have you know, because
I'm sure
I
you did.
have confidence. Confidence key.
Is
Please do your plugs. I've gone crazy.
it's not confidence that helps Mark, it's comparison.
Okay.
Trust me, if I were around those people, I could be confident too. Which is saying something considering I'm me. All right. I cover mixed martial arts and professional wrestling over at 411mania.com. WWE SmackDown on Fridays, UFC events on Saturdays, occasional other stuff. This last Saturday was UFC on ESPN plus 122, which was supposed to be UFC on ESPN 73, but a betting scandal and something better came along, so they downgraded it to ESPN plus. Turned out to be a perfectly serviceable card. Fair number of finishes. My full report's in the MMA Zone of 411mania.com. I also review it on the 411 Ground and Pound MMA podcast, where I devote a lot of time to also previewing UFC 322, which is this Saturday in the world's most overrated arena, Madison Square Garden. I have an entire bit about that at the beginning of my podcast, at which point I then go, now that I've pissed off all the New Yorkers, let's get to what matters.
I swear to God, you are like, you're not quite a cancerous tumor, but you are definitely, what was it that I had on my back?
Bleeding ulcer?
Close.
Staph infection?
Getting warmer.
Pineal cyst?
Wasn't it? Cyst! That's what it was. You are an exploded cyst.
Okay. A carbuncle?
You are ants. I haven't called you this in a while. You are ants at a picnic.
That's fairly true. So yeah, look, man, I don't think MSG deserves the hype. That's the extent of my point.
Holy Christ, the Eagles scored a touchdown.
In other news, things that won't be said ever again.
The Eagles won the Super Bowl last year, you psycho.
Yeah, how they doing this year?
They have one of the better records in the fucking division.
Okay. I don't care. I don't like Philadelphia either, so.
Clearly. Continue. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
The eastern seaboard of the East Coast of the United States could sink into the ocean. I think we'd just be better off, but
I'm gonna go back to reading song titles.
That's a whole other thing. Anyway, so I preview UFC 322. It's got 2 title fights. You have Jack Della Maddalena and Islam Makhachev. That's a really good fight. Zhang Wei Li and Valentina Shevchenko for Shevchenko's flyweight title fight. That's also a fine fight. It doesn't actually move me all that much, but that's other can of fish I get into. We got, what else is on that card? Leon Edwards and Carlos Praches, Sean Brady and Michael Morales. That's some good fights. Full preview on the podcast. I'll be covering that on Saturday. Again, SmackDown on Friday. What are you laughing at?
Don't worry about it.
All right.
Just let me have my hilarity.
Okay. This month I will be covering WWE Survivor Series.
Oh, how did you get roped into that?
They asked me to.
You never have any fun stories.
Look, my editor said there's not a UFC event this month, that week. I guess no one else was going to do it. And
when nobody wants the job, they call on our hero, Robert Winfrey.
You joke, but that's what you do. Boy, everybody fell out because no one wants to do this. Hey, Robert.
No, I also call on Jesse.
Fair enough. You have Jesse and me. 4-1 only has me. So
fair.
So yeah, I'll be covering SmackDown. No idea what's on that card. The build to it has been nothing. And look, I'll cut him a minor bit of slack. It's pretty clear they had an idea, and then Seth Rollins was a dumbass and tore his shoulder up. So he had to drop the belt. And whatever they were going to do with the Vision and the Heroes is now something they're going to have to pivot on. they're kind of half, like they might try to do something with Solo's bunch of heatless goons and a bunch of guys and a bunch of faces on SmackDown that can't get over because they're booked to job out to the Bloodline B team. They have face paint, Mark. I am so close. I'm this close to referring to them as the Insane Tongan Posse. It should be as Islanders because they're Samoans and Tongans, but the Insane Islander Posse. So who the heck knows what's going on over there? Drew McIntyre might have just been written off TV to go film Highlander because he has been cast in that.
Oh, good.
But that does leave Cody kind of without a challenger, and dude, SmackDown's just rough. There's not a lot going on there because Road Dogg kind of sucks at his job. So anyway, I cover SmackDown. I'll be covering, again, Survivor Series when that rolls around, and I cover UFC events. So tune in for any and all of that. And yeah, next week should be a thing because Edgar Wright at least makes stuff worth talking about as a general rule. So we'll see what that's got next week.
You good? You got it?
Yep, that's it.
All right. Well, this has been fun. For Robert Winfrey, I'm Mark Radulich, and we here at the Radulich Broadcasting Network say, gently up my jitta.